Hi guys and welcome to my review of chapter 251 of Haikyuu, Rhythm. Another good chapter. I feel like I say that with every Haikyuu chapter, but as I said last time, it's like Haikyuu is so different from everything else that I read because it's just so chill and nice and lovely. So yeah, Haikyuu makes me really happy. But I like the notion of having the people who cheer on you be an actual influence in the game, because we talked about it last time as well, that the noise and the way that you can control the sound and silence in a room can have a great impact on like how you do and like your concentration and the concentration of your opponents and stuff like that. And I also talked about when Shida Torisawa, like their cheer school team thing, when they started singing their school's anthem, how that like gave them that boost, and it just like it turned the entire arena's attention and just energy, I guess, to Shida Torisawa. So you have those things have a great impact in like the cheering, so you feel better when people cheer for you, because then you feel like you do good. I mean, of course it could also add pressure, but it makes it feel good. And you also have in this chapter, you have like a person like Hinata who's like, oh man, I have these dudes who are like cheering for the opposite team. They're all gonna, like, when it's my turn to serve, when I do something, they're all gonna be focused on me, because even though they're against me and like they're booing and stuff like that, all their attention is on me. They're doing all of this because I'm a threat. So he gets excited by that. So they decide to change up the strategy with the increasing beat. So it probably starts at like and then just like slowly goes up, and that can like throw off your rhythm completely. I don't know, like, you know when people when people sing or there's a song and you start clapping to the beat, right? Have you ever tried to sing when people don't clap on 2 and 4 but clap on 1 and 3? Like, if you've ever tried that, which I have, which was like the most annoying thing ever, that just completely throws you off, because you still do the like clapping, but you're doing it off beat, which is super annoying and can throw you off completely. And while that's not exactly what's happening here, it's still like your steady rhythm is thrown off because of this increasing beat that shouldn't be there. And when you have your own rhythm, like you breathe, you throw up the ball, you want to serve, and you have that rhythm, and then it messes it up, that can be really annoying, which is why we have, I think, it's both Kariyama and I forgot who the other person who served was. Asahi, I don't know. Should have double checked that. But they both make mistakes because of this. Actually, I think it's Tanaka. But they both make mistakes because of this, which is like annoying. Also, just talking about Tanaka for a little bit before I get into the next part, I'm really happy that we have him. He has that successful spike, and then his the girl, whose name I've temporarily forgotten, she comments and says, wow, that's really nice, I've seen how he's grown, because he used to be the spike it and see what happens guy, like you spike it with full force and then I don't think too much about it, but here he seems to be like thinking about what he does. So already there we see that Tanaka has progressed from what he usually was, because that's how he was set up in the when we first met him as well. He was kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna use full force and I'm gonna spike it when it comes to me, don't think too much about it. But he's definitely progressed throughout the series, and it's really nice to see it pointed out here, also because we all know that he's gonna be the MVP of this of this match. So yeah, I thought that was really great. But by the end of the chapter we have his sister coming in with her band. I don't know what discipline is called exactly, I don't remember, but the drummer thing, which is really cool, because that means that now they have their own like sound squad of their own. It's not as much a cheering squad, like it probably is, but they already have that, but now they have the means of making sound like their opponents, which is super cool, because I didn't even consider that she could like do that, but it makes sense, because why else would they introduce her as having this hobby of playing the drum thing? Like, that makes so much sense. Like, everything that you introduce here has some kind of meaning for the story, so this makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I didn't put it together before, but I'm really happy this is happening now, because now it's not only a game of the two teams standing on the court, but the supporting cast or whatever, they're also like playing, or just influencing the game in their own way. I really like when you have what's his name? I only remember his first name, Makoto, but that's not what they actually call him. I don't know, Makoto. Yamaguchi's teacher, when he says that they're not as much like a cheering squad, they're more like a support squad. So because they actually influence the game, I think it's really cool to see it that way. And I think it's also really cool to like it kind of implies, because we've all said that it's really weird that Karasuno is probably gonna win this match. I know there are a few of you who think that they're gonna lose, I think, but most of us think they're gonna win, right? And we were all like, okay, how are they gonna do that, because they are like the #1 challengers or whatever they were introduced as. But this makes a lot of sense then, because it seems that they have a lot of support and actual influence from their cheering squad, like more than we thought before. Like they have so many different techniques as to how to rile up and influence the game. So it's not just the booing, it's not just being loud, it's not just being silent when their team serves and being loud when the other team serves. It's also just about how they make the sound, the rhythm that they use, the increased like so it's like they have different techniques for everything, and it's probably gonna work differently, because in this chapter we see that the noise isn't as much influencing Karasuno as perhaps other teams are influenced by it, but the how do you say it, the subtle rhythm, as we talked about, is definitely influencing whether they want it or not, because they can't just tune that out unless they like put earplugs in. And obviously that's not gonna happen, I think. So it's really hard to tune that out, because a beat, a solid steady beat that you can always hear is always gonna have an influence. Like it's kind of like how you, like if you're a person who taps, when you listen to music you just like naturally start tapping in takt with the music. So it's kind of like that. But I think it's really cool to see that this might have something to do with how they're such a rising team, because obviously they are a good team. I'm not saying they're not, but it seems that there are other influences as well in how they've become so good. So they might, as a volleyball team, might not actually be on that exact level, like the level that they've been hyped up to be. I'm not saying they're far from there, I'm just saying that there are other influences, and if Karasuno can overcome those other like influences that has made their opponents so strong, they have a better chance at defeating them, because they, at that point, then it just comes down to volleyball skill. And yeah, I just think that's really cool, if you get what I mean. Like there are other factors, and if Karasuno can ignore those other factors and just focus on the actual game, they'll have a better chance of winning, because yeah, those other factors don't suddenly factor in anymore. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool chapter. I think it's just really cool how this match isn't just about volleyball skill, but also about the environment and how to control the environment, either with people who are on your side to begin with, or just by intimidating the crowd. Because if you have the loud cheering squad that Inarasaki has, you automatically gain the support of the audience. Like if 100 people start clapping, then the other 100 people in the room will probably start clapping. Like if you've ever been in a stadium, you know that if you have like one group that start to cheer, you'll automatically start cheering. And if you're just in a crowd, like if someone starts clapping, and like if you're in a class where there's like a presentation going on and one person suddenly starts clapping because they were the first person who realized, oh, the presentation is done, or we should probably clap at this moment, then you start clapping as well, because I don't know, you do that. We're humans, I don't know why we do that. But it's a nice thing to do, right? Also, especially when you have such a driving force of their cheering squad, so when they go silent, then automatically you go silent as well, because you feel like if you break that silence, you kind of break the rule of them having to start the silence, or start the noise. Yeah, I think that's really cool to have the audience be such a huge factor, and have audience psychology, if that makes any sense, be such a huge factor in what's going on. So it'll be like a matchup between Karasuno and Irasaki, but also a match between their two cheering squads and their like now apparently orchestras or whatever they have. So yeah, I think that's really cool. And it seems that at this point that Karasuno will lose the first set, because Inarasaki is so far ahead. Like, it's not that much, but it's like a considerable amount taking into consideration that they just started. And a huge lead right in the beginning is usually like a great confidence boost. But I still think that Karasuno has a chance to win the first set if they can get, if they can throw Inarasaki so like off in their own game, if that makes any sense, because now they have their own cheering squad. So if they suddenly don't have the advantage of the crowd that they're used to have, that could possibly throw them off in a way that they're not used to. So Karasuno could take back the momentum that way. But yeah, I just, generally I thought this was really cool. Like, I just talked for like 5 or 10 minutes about music and rhythm and noise in Haikyuu, and it's just like, that's the cool part. This is a silent thing. We're reading a manga. This isn't even the anime. I just talked for 10 minutes about noises. There's no noise. We're just reading it. I think that's really cool. That's the impact Haikyuu has, because I don't know if you're like a person who, when you read things, you can hear it, but I can, like, I always read it in the voices of the characters from the anime, and I can hear the noises when there's like, you see the panel of like the drums. I can always hear the drums. I think that's, yeah. I don't know if everyone can do that, but I do that. I think it's really great that Haikyuu can so easily make me imagine the noise, because not everything can. There are other series that aren't as clear in how they portray noises, but Haikyuu is really good at that, I think, which is like super cool. But yeah, I'm gonna end this review thing here. So if you like anything I had to say, you can leave a thumbs up on the video, leave in the comments below what you thought of the chapter and the noise thing and stuff like that, and you can subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, bye!